with tonight's card, like I told you, I'm not going to show it to you, okay? We're going to make it together, and then you'll see the big reveal, okay? So that's my magic trick of the night. I did show you everything in the suite last Wednesday night, and since I have a few things over here on my table, I'll just show them to you. First of all, these are the hand-pinned note cards and envelopes. Now, ladies, this is the best deal in town, okay? This is 20 cards, 20 card bases. That's the front. You can open it up either way, okay? And then you get 10 envelopes, and look at the flap. And this matches the designer paper, okay? So this is the envelope. You get 20 cards and 20 envelopes. So this is a great deal. It's 10 bucks. And if you like coordinating product, you can also get the coordinating cards that go with it. The coordinating cards, all of this is $10. So you've got 3x4 cards that you can actually mount to the card bases if you want. And then they're double-sided. And so you can also add this side to the card base if you want. Okay, look at that beautiful stamped image. All right, so that's the small cards. Then these are the large cards. All right, look at this one. This could go on the front of a card base. Life is a garden of possibilities. How beautiful is that? And these are some other cards that come with it. This is nice to put inside the card to write a note. And then you get 4 sticker sheets. You get 2 of each. There's a happy birthday, a thinking of you. So these can be added to the card bases as well. And I am dying to dive into this and make some cards with it. So maybe we'll have a card class this summer, all right? But I haven't had the time to really do anything with it yet since it's only been here a couple of weeks, okay? All right, well, we're gonna get started. And we are going to start with the paper trimmer tonight. And I'm gonna start with a sheet of polished pink cardstock. Now, the polished pink cardstock is 8.5 by 11 inches. And that's a standard card base, okay? All right. And so I'm going to make 2 cards out of this one sheet of paper, all right? The hand-pinned cards and envelopes are on page 105, and then you'll find them towards the back of the book as well, okay? Yes, Laura, it would be an awesome summer card class. Awesome. All right, so I'm actually going to score first, and I'm going to score at 5.5 inches, all right? So I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see where that is. See if I can get the whole thing in here. Again, I am scoring at 5.5 inches. And this is my scoring blade. And I'm just rubbing this along the cardstock. And now I have a score line. And I don't know if you all probably can't, you see that score line? It's a little hard to see. I apologize for that. A bit of a glare. All right, now as you can see, or maybe not see, this is the score line. So now I'm going to put it back in the paper trimmer and I'm going to go over to 4 1/4 inches. And I am going to cut, okay? So now I have cut the cardstock in half, okay? And let me zoom out. There we go. All right. So here, this was our sheet of paper, and now we've made it into 2 card bases. We're going to need one of those card bases tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it right on that score line there. And I'm going to use our bone folder to get a nice crisp crease. All right. Right there. So this is going to be our card base. And this is how it's going to open, all right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take, let's see, I need these two pieces. All right, so with the hand-pinned petals, we have this stamped image, which you would use this die to cut it out, okay? Now, there's also another die in this set, and it doesn't have the stamped image to go with it. And if you look at these two, these can be grouped together, all right? So that's actually what I'm gonna show you how to do tonight. This die right here is extremely intricate. And I'm gonna show you how to apply an adhesive sheet to the cardstock, how to cut it out, and how to get all of these tiny little pieces out of it. Sometimes this can become very frustrating. And I've also found this hard to demonstrate in a class because not everyone can, look right over my hands and see what I'm doing. So I thought this would be a great demonstration so you'll know how to use this piece when you order it and receive it, okay? All right, so we're actually going to cut this out, and I want to cut it out in the basic white cardstock, okay? So the first thing I want to do is get an adhesive sheet because I want this piece to be sticky on the back. I don't want to have to glue this piece to the card because then it's going to get super messy. So I am using adhesive sheets. This is how they come. It is 6 inches by 12 inches. And ladies, this one package will last you a long time. It's item number 152334, and it's in the back of the annual catalog with the other adhesives. And I want to say it's $10, but I could be wrong on the actual price, okay? All right. So I actually have a piece of scrap adhesive. So this is what I'm going to use instead of opening a new package. And then I'm going to lay this here, all right, because I don't want the adhesive sheet to be bigger than the cardstock. So I'm actually going to trim right along here, all right? Because this right here, and this can be hard to see, whoops, if I can move it. This is the basic white cardstock that I'm going to use. This is the adhesive sheet, okay? Now, one other thing that I want to point out, I am using an old pair of Stampin' Up! Scissors. When I started stamping about 15 years ago, you would receive the stamp set. It would be a sheet of rubber. And you would actually have to cut the stamps out of that sheet of rubber and mount it on a wooden block by yourself. And then flip it over and put a sticker on the other side of the block. Now, the reason I'm using the old scissors, okay, it's just an older pair. Thank you, Simone, for checking on the price. It is $10 a pack. Because these are older scissors, I like to use them because the adhesive will get on the blades, okay? Now, you can use your paper snips to cut out adhesive, okay? No problem with that, but you're gonna wanna clean your blades with some Goo Gone, okay, to get them clean again. So I like to use my old scissors, all right? All right, so let me get my glasses on here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel the adhesive off. All right, so this side is sticky. And you'll know the difference because one side is gonna be sticky and the other side won't be. All right, so there it is. The other thing to remember about adhesive sheets, it doesn't have to go on straight, okay? It doesn't matter. So that's the other brilliant thing about it. All right, and as you can see, my adhesive isn't straight on the back. But that's okay because it's still going to turn out, all right? Now I'm gonna flip it over, and I've noticed that there's a little piece of adhesive sticking out there, and I wanna trim that. I really don't want any of these little pieces of adhesive on my cutting plates because it'll make my cutting plates sticky, okay? All right, so there's the adhesive. This is the cardstock. I should have used a different color of cardstock tonight for this demonstration instead of white on white. This is the die. The die is going to lay on the basic white cardstock, okay? And then I'm going to cut the outline of this flower, and I'm going to cut it out in polished pink, all right? Now let's see here. We're going to use the mini tonight, so let me trim this cardstock so that it will fit through my mini machine, all right? We'll make certain that that goes through the mini. All right, everybody with me? I've got a little piece of paper right here in this die, and I'm gonna pop that out. Okay. All right, well, let's get the mini. It's right here. And we're going to need platform 1, which is right here. All right. Everybody following me? Or have I lost you? Are you bored? We're gonna need cutting pad number 2. All right, and there's 2. Then we're going to take the polished pink and we're going to lay this right on top. We're going to add another cutting pad number 2, and then we're going to roll it through. All right, and yes, my camera likes to shake. Okay, here we go. So let's see if our outline turned out. It looks like it did just fine. And this is what you have. It's the shape of the flower, okay? So we'll put that aside. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the die away so that I don't lose the die. All right, now we're gonna cut out the flower with platform number 1, cutting pad 2. Remember, basic white cardstock here, adhesive is here, okay? All right. And now we're going to, there we go. Now my plates are a little uneven, but that is okay. I should have evened them up a little bit more than I did, but that's all right. All right, now the first thing that I want to do is I want to take a peek to be sure that it's cut out perfectly. All right, ooh, I think it has. All right, let's see. Well, that shape is out. All right, that just came right off. It looks like I have cut everything out, but to be sure, I'm gonna do it again. So when I use the adhesive sheets, they add some thickness to your cardstock. So I wanna be sure that I'm getting a good cut. This time, I'm gonna lay it sideways, all right? And it's gonna cut it in a different manner. All right, here we go. I'm sitting down and doing this, which is something I never do. I'm always standing up. All right, and I'm turning with my left hand, which is also different for me. I usually turn with my right. So doing things differently here. All right, so I'm pretty positive now. We've got a nice, beautiful cut. We know that the cutting has gone through the adhesive sheet. And with a die this intricate, you do want to double check this, okay? All right, I'm going to zoom in now so that you can get a closer look at what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in my little trash can and I'm going to start popping out these petals. Okay, and actually the whole flower at this point may want to come out, which is fine. All right, so now it's released itself. And now I am going to just poke out some of these things. Now this is what I have learned in doing this intricate one. When you go to peel off the adhesive, so some of my adhesive's already pulled off, which is fine because remember it was in two sections. So this section is peeled off. But when you go to peel the adhesive, a lot of the times all of these little pieces are going to come right out, okay? So let's go ahead and do that and let's see what also comes out of the flower. All right, pretty good. All right, so now you're gonna notice that these holes, the little papers did not fall out, okay? Hi Sharon, I'm glad you're here. Here's another little circle that we've got to pop out, but for the most part, this peeled off beautifully. Now, here's another trick that I learned with this die. When you poke out from the top of the flower to the back, a lot of the times that little circle wants to stick to that adhesive. So I have found it easier to poke out those little circles from the back, all right? Because they have an easier chance of falling out and not sticking to the adhesive. And I think I got it all. So it was just a few pieces. So does that make sense? I hope it does. All right. Now the next step, excuse my reach, the next step is to add it to the shape of the flower, all right? And I've also found that the adhesive sheets are very forgiving. And what I mean by that is, if I need to lift this up and straighten it up on the outline, it will allow me to do that, okay? So even though you stick it down, you do have time to lift it back up and reposition it. Now, the very first time I did this, it wasn't as easy as it is now. So I've done quite a few of these now. So if you're doing one of them, make a bunch of these and you'll get better with practice, okay? All right, now I'm gonna zoom out and we're gonna do the next part of the card. We're actually going to, oops, I didn't want you to see the card. I know you saw part of the card. All right, so our next step is going to be to use this scallop rectangle. So let me show you where this comes from. And this is like my new favorite set. This is from the Scalloped Contour dies. And it makes all these different ruffled rectangles. There's also a stamp set that coordinates with it that cuts out a flower and then another flower. And this is called Scalloped Contours, and we'll be working on this set when I get back from Hawaii, okay? So that'll be next up. But let me show you what those dies do. These are the Scalloped Contours dies, all right? And so this is the one that we're gonna be using on the card in basic white, all right? But you've got a nice large ruffled edge here. You've got your flowers, and then you've got your rectangles. Sue, this set is amazing. This is probably my #1 pick besides hand pen petals, because when I did my open house, I probably made 50 cards at least, and I used these dies on every single card. I couldn't get enough of them. So this is an awesome basic set. Even if you're just starting to craft and you've just purchased your Stamp and Cut emboss machine, this is a great set to start with, and you'll get a lot of wear out of it, okay? Plus, ladies, the dies are $35. That is a bee reward. You know, when you shop with me and you earn a bee for every $35 purchase, once you've got 10 bees, you can get this die set absolutely free. So it's another reason to shop with me. I'll just throw that in there while I'm thinking about it. All right, well, let's do a little stamping, and then I'm going to show you how to mount your flower. I'm using the words from hand-pinned Petals, okay? And I'm going to use the words, anything is possible, and I'm going to put it right there. All right, so that's the bottom right-hand corner, okay? All right. Now, the next thing we'll do is we'll get some dimensionals. I know you're shocked that I'm using dimensionals. And we're going to add one in each corner, okay? All right. Yeah, the dies are awesome. I'm so glad you all like them. All right, so we're actually going to center this. I'm going to turn it around this way. And I'm going to put it about right here, okay? So that's where that's going to go. By the way, if you're brand new tonight, watching for the first time, please say hello and let us know where you're from. When you do say hello, your name is in the drawing tonight for this card right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add are the flowers that we just created. So ladies, do you think you would be able to cut out this flower now with the adhesive sheets? I have found the adhesive sheets to be my best friend sometimes. No gluing. It would almost be impossible anyway to glue these fine lines to this outline. I think it would be just about impossible. I'm glad you got them too, Nancy, and you're gonna absolutely love them. I'm gonna position my flower right there. And ladies, that's my card, all right? Now, I do need to tell you something about this card. It's not my original idea. I saw this it was about the beginning of May. Another demonstrator had created it, and her name is Julie Davidson. So I'm giving her all the credit for this card. She did an awesome job with it, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so let me show you, oh, thank you, Sally. Let me show you some other card ideas, okay? Here is the reverse. What do you think? That's the absolute opposite of this card. And this is in polished pink, okay? Yeah, it's super simple, so I would recommend if you make this card, go ahead and cut a lot of these while you're doing it. Make it worth your time, okay? And yeah, Sue, you're correct. The adhesive sheets are gonna save you a lot of time. So that's polished pink, okay? I have another one for you. Here is pale papaya. Thank you, ladies. Pale papaya right there. I love these cards because they showcase the in colors that are absolutely amazing this year. All right. By the way, this cardstock is in your share box. So I know you'll be happy that you got a share box with me. And now let's do Evening Evergreen. What do you think of this one? That's Evening Evergreen, ladies. And we have Soft Succulent right here, okay? And one more. Oh, cool. Nancy says pale papaya is becoming her favorite. I'm having a hard time. The more I use them, the harder it is for me to decide which color I like the best. Thanks, ladies. Isn't this pretty in the fresh freesia? Isn't that awesome? Have you all taken the in color quiz? If you are, if you purchase my share box, I have a Facebook private group called All About In Colors, and there's a place for you to join. As a matter of fact, this is kind of what the the private group banner looks like, okay? It looks like that. If you haven't been invited and you purchased a share box, let me know so that I can get you on there. But you can take the in color quiz to see what your color is, okay? Ooh, a bumblebee would be awesome on here, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you know me and those bumblebees. All right, I'm gonna show you some other cards now, okay, that have been created with this suite. We did this one last Wednesday night. And here's another one that I created. So it's very similar to the one we made last week. And this is our Hostess Club card this month, ladies. This is what we've been making. All right, it's got some embellishments. And then here's another card right here. Right there. Okay. So I've got some other little samples I'll show you. And let's see, this card we made last Wednesday night. Do you remember this one? All right, and see that ruffled edge right there? That scalloped edge is coming from right here. It's part of the hand pen petals bundle. Okay, so that's where that comes from with the stitching. Then I did some envelope flaps. Here is the hand pinned designer paper, okay? So here's another one. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So that's with Heartfelt Sympathy. And here's, I love this piece of paper, by the way. I just look at these daisies in the paper. Aren't they beautiful? So this was my design here with all the different designer papers. Not that it matters. Here's another one. The background paper here is Moonlight. Misty Moonlight. So all of these cards were at my open house, okay? So if you were at an open house, you may have taken some pictures of these. This background color here is Blushing Bride, okay? And this one, the background color here is Garden Green. I know the paper is amazing. Here is another card. This background paper is Mint Macaron. And another nice thing about hand pen petals paper, it incorporates our new in colors. And then one other card right here. All right, and that's actually using the other flower that's in the set. So in the set, you've got two different flower images. And this flower here is right here, okay? Now I'll zoom out and I'm gonna let you look at all the dies that come with hand pen petals, all right? So this is what the dies can do. We did this last week along with this flower and we learned how to stamp it. This is the outline of this flower. And the bonus is we get this beautiful outline to go with this flower. And here's that ruffled edge. You get 3 extra small flowers and then 2 medium size. Ooh, Sue, last week, let me see. If you remember this card right here, Sue, last Wednesday night we made it and I showed you all how to do this scalloped edge, okay? So if you'll go back to last Wednesday night's video, you will find it, okay? It is right there because this is the card we did last Wednesday night. All right, and then we've got another flower here, and this flower here, I don't know what it's called. If anybody knows the name of this flower, will you let me know? You can actually stamp that flower and cut it out. And I didn't realize that when I created this sample here. What size circle did I use? Okay, on this one, Laura, would this be the one? The circle I used is stitched shapes, and the diameter is approximately 2 3/8 inches. So the diameter is approximately 2 3/8 inches, okay, for that circle. All right. And so here are the pin flowers dies right here, okay? So everything you need is in the suite here. You've got the stamp set, you've got the dies, you can bundle and save 10%. You've got your cards right here, and you can find these cards on page 127. They're listed right here. And then if you look over here under suite, it says hand pen 12 by 12 designer paper, item number and price. And then it even has some darling little embellishments that go with it. And they're on page 142. So let me look real quick. See if we can find that. Yeah, the gems are right here. Genial gems, okay? They are right there, all right? So we're gonna have a drawing now to see who's going to win this card tonight, okay? So what I need to know, first of all, are there any questions for me regarding tonight's card, okay? It is kind of like baby's breath. I wonder if it could be that, Carol. I'm not sure. If you haven't commented tonight, this is a great time to do it because we're going to give away our card, okay? All right. I do want to remind you, just in case you're shopping this week and would like to shop with me, the address, the URL address is shopwithbecreativestamping.com. I'm still using this hostess code, okay? And so just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind my Be Rewarded cards, okay? Thank you, Sharon. Every time you place a $35 minimum order, you earn a bee. And once you've earned 10 bees, ladies, you can redeem it for $35 in free product, okay? Well, hello, Aunt Ethel. I didn't know you were watching tonight. Nice to have you. Also, ladies, keep in mind that when you place a $35 minimum order, I will send you the Demo Design Dream Team tutorial. It features 16 cards and all of the supplies and products are from the new annual catalog, all right? So keep that tutorial in mind.